students, welcome back to geography class. In the last video, we have started the chapter to atmosphere, in which we discussed meaning, significance and composition of atmosphere. Today, we will start with structure of the atmosphere. Before we proceed, let's compare composition of the atmosphere and the structure of atmosphere. Composition means what is atmosphere made up of. Structure of atmosphere means how is atmosphere divided into different layers. Second difference point of composition include different number of gases with an examples. For structure of atmosphere, it has different layers on the basis of temperature and other properties. Example, names of different number of layers. Children, atmosphere has 5 distinct layers. Let's look at each from closest to furthest from the earth. The first layer of the atmosphere is the troposphere, which is nearest to earth. The troposphere goes from 0 km to 16 km. This layer extends to about 18 km at the equator, and it is about 8 km above North Pole and South Pole. All weather happens in the troposphere. The word troposphere has been derived from the Greek word tropos, which means turbulence. As a result of these turbulences, all weather phenomena takes place in this layer. Almost all the water vapors and dust particles are contained in this layer. Within the troposphere, the temperature drops as the altitude increases according to the normal lapse rate. The layer of the atmosphere. Among all the layers, in between lies the pause or stop. Between each layer of the atmosphere is a boundary. Above the troposphere is the tropopause, which is the uppermost limit of the troposphere. As we can see, above stratosphere lies stratopause, above the mesosphere, mesopause, and above the thermosphere is the thermopause. The second layer of the atmosphere is the stratosphere, which extends up to about 50 kilometers with horizontal air currents. It has temperature more with altitude as the temperature increases. With altitude, it contains the ozone layer, which lies within the stratosphere in the upper region between the altitudes of 20 and 50 km. It provides suitable conditions for flying jet aircraft because this layer does not have water vapor or dust particles and no turbulence in the air. It contains about 24% of the air. In this we can able to see the temperature which changes with height. In the different layers, the temperature when it is turning towards the left, it is showing the decrease. When it is coming to the right hand side towards the 0, it's showing the increase. So we have discussed so far troposphere and stratosphere. Let's understand in the troposphere the temperature decreases as we go up, and in the tropopause Wherever pause or stop occurs, the temperature also stops. It does not changes, due to which temperature becomes constant or same in tropopause. It becomes the base for the temperature to the next layer. Temperature rises from approximately minus 50 degree Celsius at the base of the stratosphere to 0 degree Celsius at stratopause. We could able to see the line coming towards the 0, and there in the stratopause it reaches to 0. So we have understood how the temperature decreases, and in stratosphere it increases because of the presence of ozone. We could able to see the same with temperature and pressure. Blue line indicate the pressure. Stratosphere, troposphere, in between lies the tropopause, and the uppermost layer of the stratosphere is the upper limit is the stratopause. Children, third layer of the atmosphere is the mesosphere. Above the stratosphere, a drop in temperature starts the beginning of the mesosphere. Meso means middle. It lies in between the two at the bottom and two on the top of mesosphere. This layer protects the Earth's surface from being hit by most meteoroids. This layer protects the Earth from meteoroids. They burn up in this layer. Due to the presence of gases, friction is created and heat is generated to burn meteoroids. It starts at 50 km above Earth and ends at 80 km. Fourth layer is the thermosphere. Atmospheric layer furthest from Earth's surface is the thermosphere. The air is very thin in this layer, so it is the least dense of all the layers. Nitrogen and oxygen atoms absorb X-rays and gamma rays emitted from the sun, making them electrically charged. This causes the northern lights over the north and south poles. This layer is also called the ionosphere. This layer contains ions which reflects radio waves back to the Earth's surface. This enables us to have wireless communication. Ionosphere contains electrically charged particles called ions, which create a sheet-like display of light known as aurora. Aurora borealis in the northern hemisphere and aurora australis in the southern hemisphere. In this image you could able to see how does that color depicts on the northern hemisphere, that is called the aurora borealis. So between the mesosphere and thermosphere, mesosphere is the coldest layer and thermosphere is the hottest layer. And the importance of this layer is radio wave bounds of ionosphere reflects them back to Earth in the aurora borealis. These are the images of the auroras. The last layer of the atmosphere is the exosphere. The exosphere is the outermost layer of the atmosphere. The temperature in the exosphere goes up with altitude. Satellite orbit Earth in the exosphere. So the upper part of this layer merges with the outer space. The temperature of the exosphere is very high. As we can able to see how the temperature, we have already discussed how the temperature decreases in troposphere and then static constant in the tropopause. Then towards the stratosphere it increases, reaches up to 0. Then in mesosphere it comes approximately to -100, very less, decreases in the mesosphere. Then in thermosphere it increases and it keeps on increasing in the exosphere. It has the two parts in thermosphere, exosphere and ionosphere. And where you could able to see the straight line, they are the pause in between the layers. Towards the left hand side you can able to see all the natural things which exist in different layers of the atmosphere. In this, how the temperature decreases in troposphere, like how much temperature decreases with height. Then temperature increases with height in stratosphere, reaches to 0 degrees Celsius. Temperature decreases again with height in mesosphere, reaches -100 degrees Celsius. Then increases in thermosphere. By looking these two pictures, these two images, we could able to understand towards the right hand side how the different layers are important for all these natural things which exist in the different layers, and on the left hand side we could able to see the existence of the man-made things. I hope children you have understood about the different layers of the atmosphere with its characteristics and the importance. We understood about troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. You will get the worksheet based on the today's video and the SNAP homework. Thank you, class.